The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick, hosting the show, developing business sometimes at the same time. This is where America tunes in to hear great real estate talk, not always in Houston, Texas, even though we're based here, but today we are on the road. We are in Magnolia, Texas. So, whether you are listening in Magnolia, Texas, Houston, Texas, Washington, D.C., or anywhere else, we think you're going to enjoy the show because we always have interesting things, and we are always brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management and their president, Tom Carpentier, who leads the company in a magnificent way. As I said, we took a little trip today, Magnolia, Texas. A lot of great things going on north of the city. That is of Houston. So whether you're listening anywhere, you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to get a glimpse from Realtors today about their perspective in Magnolia, Texas, and what's going on up here. And right now, we welcome our first guest. She is Sharon Gilmore with Keller Williams. Sharon, thank you, and welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here.
We are up north, aren't we, from the city?
Well, you would think we'd be far from the city, but this area has really grown, so it's more like the suburbs.
It really is. Well, tell people, Sharon, about a little bit of a glimpse of Magnolia, Texas, and what you do at Keller Williams.
Well, I am a broker associate with Keller Williams Magnolia branch here off of 1488 in Tamina. And I've lived in the area since much longer than I would like to say, but since I was a teenager. So I have seen many, many changes in the area, and it is a very exciting time to be moving out to this area as there's such big growth with businesses. I see lots of home development, going on right now. All you have to do is just drive up the street and you can see new buildings going up, road development going on, and it's just a vibrant community that's focused on folks in the community.
And the growth on its own just creates a certain part of the atmosphere and the excitement. I felt it as I drove up here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, every day, when I drive, there's something new to see. There's more people coming into the area. It's a great place to live. And obviously, I could live anywhere, but I've lived in this area for over 20 some odd years and don't have any intentions of leaving.
Well, that's awesome. Also, that helps you serve buyers and sellers alike by knowing so much about the area, by living here. And also, I would think you're also very connected to the community.
Oh, yes. Very active in the chamber. A lot of events going on in our community as it's centric to, the residents here. We've got some great opportunities coming up, as most communities do. Texas Renaissance is coming up. I'm also involved in my church. I sing in the choir. And so I have an opportunity.
Are you going to sing for us a little later, Sharon? Maybe, huh? Right? Let's see how this goes, right?
Well, I don't have any aspirations to be on America's Got Talent, so maybe we should skip that one.
All right. But also, one of the things that I find fascinating, Keller Williams has done such a good job all over the United States. They may be even international, I don't know. But around the United States, there are so many Keller Williams offices, and it's fascinating. Tell people about Keller Williams, should they not know about some of the distinctions you offer.
Well, you're right. Keller Williams is, a big brokerage across the U.S. I'll talk mainly about our brokerage here in the Woodlands and Magnolia. We have about 425 agents locally that serve, the Woodlands and Magnolia area. And there's 2 offices in the Woodlands and 1 in Magnolia here off Tamina Road. And we enjoy a strong market share of about 18% in the Woodlands and about 12% in Magnolia, with our closest competitor coming in at around, 8%.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I think, would it be safe to say Keller Williams is known for their education of real estate agents, as far as being very strong at educating the agents about what's going on and the changes and things like that?
You bet. One of the things that I really enjoy about the Keller Williams culture is that training is a big part of a new agent coming on board, and then as we get more seasoned, there are also higher levels of education that Keller Williams provides. And then also, part of that culture is to serve the client, keep the focus on how we can help folks in the community as our clients, both also as volunteering in our community. It's one of the things. It's a faith-based as well. So
very, very interesting. And also, let's tell people at say this time in the marketplace, how do you see or how do you coach the buyers and sellers right now? Let's start with the sellers. As far as someone listing their home, what do you tell people to get ready to sell that home? And that's a big thing. Someone might have been in the home for 10 years, 5 years, 20, and now they want to sell it. They come to you. They say, Sharon, help me.
Right. Well, one of the first things that, I work to do is to find out where the seller is. Why are you moving? What's your motivation? What's your time frame? And then we sit down and we talk about the market and what's going on, with the market right now. Is it a market that's moving quickly? Is it a market that's moving at an average pace? Do they have a lot of repairs that need to be done? Do they have a lot of decluttering to be done? Do they have...
Probably yes and yes.
Well, that is the number one, is decluttering. In fact, if you were to walk into my house right now, you would find a few things that need to be decluttered.
I'm guilty too. Yeah.
I hear you.
But you have to get those things addressed before you sell your home, or if you want to get the right price and sell it quick.
Well, that's true. You got to price it right, but you also have to treat your home, shift it from being a home into a product in a competitive market. And sometimes that's hard because we're all emotionally tied to our homes, and so sometimes it takes a little more coaxing to get them in that frame of mind.
Those are very important words. I think let's say that again. Tell them again. Change it from our home.
From your home into a product in a competitive market. And so you have to start treating it like you may have your personal pictures on the wall. You're going to want to take those down for the most part because you want people to walk in your home. It should be sparkly clean, and they should be focusing on the features and the architectural design of the home and the floor plan.
And the realtor is so many things during the real estate transaction, but also I think the realtor has to be that person, that catalyst that reminds people to make sure that they all of a sudden change that mindset. Mindset is important with whatever we do, but when we want to sell our homes, we turn it into a product. So having that right mindset, you're there to help people with that.
Yeah, and sometimes the job as the realtor is a tough one because it's a careful balance between addressing their feelings about being attached to the home and then saying, well, here are the hard things that we have to do in order to get your home sold and get it sold at the highest price and in the timing that you want.
Indeed. In fact, I also go back to what you said about the decluttering. That's kind of a logical thing. Some people have trouble with that. However, I want to go back to the part about repairs because I even as I've looked around my home, I'm not planning on selling it, but if you don't keep up, even when you're not selling it, if you don't keep up with those little repairs, that door that squeaks, the door that doesn't close right, or whatever it is, if you don't keep up with that, next thing you know, when it's time to sell your house, you got a big punch list, and it's like, I can't put it on the market till I get all this done. So it's a good word for people to just keep up with their home all the time.
Right, that's correct. And, when you have buyers come through your home, if you haven't taken care of some of those repairs, say painting and your home is looking, dingy and dirty, they're thinking, well, what else is wrong? Have they not kept up the maintenance on their AC unit?
On the things they can't see.
On the things that they can't see, exactly.
Very interesting. We have to have, and using that term, I like the term because it applies to everything in life, and that is mindset. If we are, as real estate professionals, when you go out to meet that person, to have a listing presentation, the realtor has to have the right mindset to be able to make sure that all the features and all the considerations are brought forth.
Yeah, that's correct. And, when we do go in on a listing appointment, we have to be prepared, to let that seller know about the marketplace and to let them know that we've done our due diligence and that we are the right person for the job. Because let's face it, if you're going to get hired to, list a person's home, that is a big trust that potential client is putting in you. And so we have to do our work on the backside before we get in front of them to start that process.
It's a big job, and it's also a job that is not limited from 9 to 5. So, right?
That's correct.
I love when realtors, I'm a real estate professional because I can make my own hours. Well, quite frankly, when you enlist the services to sell someone's home, or even buyers, you're serving them almost around the clock. And a lot of people don't realize that, but that's very important work that you're doing.
Well, of course, you've got to make sure that you're taking care of your clients. And sometimes that does mean that we are working on the weekends and that we're working after, 5 o'clock. We do try to take care of that mostly within business hours. But let's face it, you've got to do, your part in, getting the job done, which in this case is getting a seller's home sold and servicing their needs. They have questions, and of course, they want to feel like they, have a realtor who's going to be there to support them in that effort.
And also, Sharon, give people a word that are buying homes here in the Magnolia area and the area that you serve. How do you coach the buyers when they to approach the market?
Well, I think one of the things that buyers make a mistake with is they're so excited. Oh, we've decided to purchase. So let's get out there and take a look at homes.
Yay.
And, I found one that I just love.
I saw one on the internet, right?
Right. Well, and then there's some, disappointments because perhaps they haven't gone and talked to a lender. Perhaps they don't have all of their financing, in order to be able to move forward with that. And in our market, you've got to be prepared before you walk in that door. So if you see something, you can purchase it or put an offer in on it and not have it snatched out from underneath you.
Very good. So,
Yeah.
Okay, Sharon, so with, say, the last minute or so left here in this segment, tell people, what else would you like people to know about your real estate practice and what you do?
Well, I've been in the business for 9 years and really work hard to focus on client needs and how to serve them because it is a service, type of job, and love real estate. I didn't know how much until I got into it. It's so interesting, and there's so many different avenues in it, and it's just a new adventure every day, and just look forward to helping folks with that.
It really is. Sharon, would you tell people how they can reach you?
Sure. You can contact me on my cell phone at 832-692-3981, or you can visit my website at GilmoreRealtyGroup.com.
Well, that has a nice ring to it. GilmoreRealtyGroup.com. And again, 832-692-3981. Thank you, Sharon Gilmore, for being on the show.
Thanks, Bill. It's been a pleasure.
And we are going to take a short break and come right back with even more. Stay with us.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at Stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick. We march on. We march on right here in Magnolia, Texas. And now we have Mr. John Kraft. He is with Keller Williams Realty in Magnolia and the Woodlands. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Very nice. I always like, and in fact, one of the distinctions, many people listen to the show all the time. Normally we're in the radio station, but today we are on location. So here we are at the wonderful Stewart Title office in Magnolia, Texas. But tell people, John, Keller Williams right up here. Tell people about your company and your specialty in real estate.
All right, wonderful. Yeah, we are a kind of a satellite office per se. Like you said, we are up here in the north. We have a big office. It's the Woodlands, so that's our main brokerage. But our brokerage consists of 3 offices. We have 2 in the Woodlands and 1 here in the great place of Magnolia. So what we do up here is we specialize more in the farm and ranch and more of the larger acreage home sites. So when you want a little bit more land, a little bit more room between you and the neighbors, come on up here to Magnolia and we can help you out.
There are people, in fact, my neighbors in the inner city in Houston that need that elbow room right now, and I know they're listening, and they may want to call you because there's a lot of selection up here. You can find single homes, you can find big yards, acreage. Tell people about some of the selection up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Up here you can find anything from the smaller, what we call the city lots, which is going to be the 10,000 square foot lots, but more that you're going to find is half acre and larger. And half acre you'll find, which is typically divided into about a 100 by 200 foot piece of property. And people say 100 foot, Because if you go anywhere around the city and you're looking at homes, you're looking at 45 foot, 50 foot. So yes, 100 foot, that puts a little bit more room between you and the neighbors. It gives you a little bit more room if you want to build a shop, if you want to have an extra hobby, want to set up a batting cage for your kids. Just gives you more of that family space.
Having room is so important, especially I think it has an even more dramatic impact on somebody that's lived, say, in close areas like the city or gallery area and things like that. But when they come out here, it's nice to get that little extra room. And there are so many things, as you described. Someone could have a car collection, build a giant garage, work on their hobby, all those things. What about horses? Are there horses up here? People with horses?
Absolutely. We have plenty of land for horses, plenty of land for, believe it or not, we have a lot of people nowadays wanting chickens. You know, they want those fresh eggs. And so we have the communities up here where you can actually have those. And yes, that is something that people come to Magnolia for.
I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're full of all kind of neat stuff up here, yet we're still closely connected to the Woodlands, which allows for all of the nice restaurants, all of the shopping. The Woodlands Mall is 15 minutes, yet you can have fresh eggs, and you can have your horse actually tied up out back.
No doubt about it. I'm thinking visions of omelets are in my mind right now, but I'll tell you this, we've done many shows, over 140 some shows now, but that is the first time I heard that people want chickens. That is a show first, John. Thank you for bringing that forth.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Something new.
No doubt about it. Now, do you have chickens at your house?
I do not, but my neighbor does.
Super cool. Well, also, and not to mention dogs and cats. I mean, people love dogs, and here you could have more than one dog and really let them have a nice life.
Everybody has a dog.
Do you have a dog?
Everybody, I do.
And what's his name or her name?
It's Lacey, and she is a German short-hair pointer. Very rambunctious dog. You cannot have one of those dogs in the city, I promise you. You need room for them to run.
She is in the right place. Is she listening to the show right now?
Oh, I imagine she is. She's on the back patio, underneath the ceiling fan.
Super cool. Well, also, as we think about this beautiful area, what other things should people know about? In fact, let's put it like this, John. Let's say someone is not in Houston or really familiar with Houston, but thinking about moving here, and they hear about Houston, the Galleria, they hear about Woodlands, they hear about Pearland, all these places, but paint them a picture of what's here in Magnolia and why they might consider this as a place to live as they move from who knows where, Montana, New Jersey, whatever.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, Magnolia is very unique because it has so much to offer nowadays. Again, I've lived here a long time as well, and back then it was more of a small town, country atmosphere. Not so much anymore. Now we have all of the amenities as several new grocery stores. We have lots of fast food chain restaurants, and we have nice new roads, and everybody likes new roads. Those are important. And so with that comes new development. We've got a lot of beautiful homes being built up here, and a lot of people also moving their business up north, which means that you're not going to be commuting as far to work. So you can actually live in the country on a little bit more land and have a short commute to your job, because we have lots and lots of jobs up here. I know you're familiar with Exxon. They moved their new campus up here. We have other big companies as well in the works doing the same.
It's always great when you can build your life in a short area, 3 miles, 10-mile radius. And when you talk about those new roads, I'll tell you what, my car always rides better when it's clean and it's on a new road. I can feel it right now as I'm on the way to get that omelet.
Absolutely.
That is wild. Well, also, you're in the real estate profession. Obviously, you love where you live. You painted a very nice picture of this area. But what is it you love about real estate?
I tell you, I love the challenges. In this job, every day is a challenge. And it's fun helping people. It really is. I tell you, I love getting thank you notes from past clients. I love helping people work through, maybe they didn't think they could actually buy a home, and now they do own a home. Those people are just so grateful, and I really, really appreciate that the most.
There are so many things that happen in a real estate transaction, and also there's so many things that happen when the realtor like yourself engages with a family, an individual, as they're going through different changes in life. Give us a word on people that say relocation. Does that happen here? Do you see a lot of people that have relocated from, let's say, outside of Texas?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we've seen a lot of people from California, which is a pretty good ways. We've got some from Florida. We get some from upstate. We also have gotten a lot of international business here, which is a little different. And people are coming here because it's a great place to live. It's a safe place to live. and they know that it's a good place to raise their family. The other thing they're coming for is our schools. We have exceptionally good schools, and that's very important with family and community.
In this part of the Houston area, tell us about the tax rate. Is it different than, say, living, again, using the Galleria as an example?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a very low tax rate. On average out here, you're going to be at 2.14, which is extremely low. There is no MUD taxes in the Magnolia area, which is great. Also, you're going to find that your cost of living in general is going to be less, as we can have our own water wells. That means no more water bill. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's very interesting. And as you mentioned, people say from California, where it's one of the most difficult places to live from as far as a tax burden is concerned, they must come here and it's like, wow, free money.
They do. I tell you, it's great because they come here and they go, well, we only have $350,000 to spend. I'm like, well, great. Let's go out and look at a bunch of homes. And they're like, oh, you have more than one in that price range?
That's right, because that California real estate market is something else. Also, let's take, and you talk about the California, the West Coast. Do you see people from the East Coast that arrive here?
We do. Matter of fact, there's more and more coming from the East Coast. As you know, a lot of big companies have been relocating down south as well. And so, of course, with that, it's going to come the people, because people will follow the jobs.
No doubt about it. Also, John, give us an idea as we think about the year 2017. You have a great insight. If not, you probably have a gut feel for what's it going to be like 2017 based on the trend here.
I think 2017 is going to be a great year. We've seen a small shift in the market this year, but we've also seen that shift kind of revert already. And what I mean by that is home prices have stayed steady up here in the North Montgomery area, the Magnolia area, and we see them starting to actually move in an upward motion, and contracts are coming in daily. So homes are selling up here, and I believe with the new year, it's going to come a lot of changes in that market. It's going to continue to be good.
Should be interesting indeed. Now tell people give us a word on the sellers. When you talk to a seller about their home and kind of getting the seller in the mindset of being able to get the most for their home and the things they have to do, how do you work with that seller?
Absolutely. Sellers are the most challenging probably because they love their homes. It's the best home on the block, I promise you. And so, and generally, what we have to do is we have to take them out and show them maybe a couple of other homes that would be their competition. And go, now, put yourself in a buyer's shoes. Would you choose your home or would you choose this home? And that really helps them in that perspective of making sure that we price the home correctly. Because nothing's more frustrating to a realtor, to a home seller, than overpricing their home and have it set on the market, them not getting any showings, yet every day they're running around, making sure everything's clean, making sure the beds are made, making sure the kids didn't leave their shoes. And
the dogs.
The dogs, absolutely. So it's important to work with them wholeheartedly, make sure they fully understand what they're getting themselves into. Selling their home, it's a big challenge. It's something that they definitely do not want to do on their own, as we're going to help them, guide them through the process.
Very nice, ladies and gentlemen. John Kraft. John, would you tell people how they can reach out to you?
Absolutely. You can call me at 832-585-3426, or you can visit me on the web at johncraftrealty.com.
johncraftrealty.com. One more time on the phone number, John.
832-585-3426.
You are listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Napick, right here in Magnolia, Texas, at the wonderful Stewart Title location. Thank you, John. We're coming right back.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Your host, Bill Napick, here in Magnolia, Texas. And now we have from M&M Texas Properties, Ron McKeithen.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Doing great. Hey, M&M Texas Properties, that is a great name for a company.
Just like the candies.
Man, do you have any M&Ms with you?
No, sir, I don't.
Well, very nice. Ron, tell people about your company and kind of your specialty up here.
I cut my teeth in investing. I started off as a real estate investor back in 1995, and I decided to just keep on going. And so got a realtor's license, got a broker's license, started a firm, started 2 firms. There we go.
Here you are. Well, and that's the thing that we think about when we think about real estate, certainly buying and selling, people moving and things like that. But we always want our home to be a good investment, whether we have one that we just live in or if we buy some as investment properties.
Right. Buying a home as an investment property is a lot different than buying a home to park your kids and dogs and stuff like that, and chickens in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when you buy a home as an investment, we have to look at it just as a property, not as a home. This is somebody else's home. So I need to look at this like, how much can I put into this? What's the risk factor? And then how does that weigh with the current market structure on when I can sell it and get that money back out, put it into something else?
So there's a whole nother mindset when we think about real estate as an investment.
Absolutely. I mean, it's totally different. We have to take all the emotions out. You can't walk into a house and think that you're going to live there. You can't walk into a house and say, oh, I'd like different carpet, or I'd like different this, different that. No, you've got to walk into it and say, how little can I put into this house to turn around and sell it and pull as much back out of it as possible?
And what are some of the things that you think about when you think about real estate investing in, say, the Magnolia area? Or put it this way, what does the Magnolia, Texas area offer for the investor?
A lot of people have no clue how to invest in real estate, and no clue to use a licensed professional realtor to help them do that. They think that they watch the HGTV, the home shows on TV, and they show up at auction and they pull the trigger, and then you never see them again because they messed up. They paid too much. But if you hire a realtor that knows the market, knows how much properties are worth, and can help guide you on the improvements necessary to make that home more marketable so that it can be sold faster, stay off the market longer, stay off the market, not as long. It will help you make more money in real estate than you can make in like your 401k, stocks and bonds, gold, whatever else you invest in.
And that's right, because as we say, even if it's a home I live in, at some point, especially when it's time to depart, it becomes an investment, because when I leave that home, I'm saying I put this much in, I was able to live there X amount of years, and hopefully I'm walking away with a nice profit. So that's important. Give us an idea of some of the things. Let's take the person that wants to buy the home and live there, but how do they cover their base to have someone like yourself that looks at it in a way that it's an investment? How can I do both, where I live in the home, but I'm buying the right kind of home so that when I leave, I make some money on it?
The job of every realtor is to make sure that we put our clients, and let's just face it, we don't use the word clients with them. They're home buyers. These are people that are going to park their families in this address for X number of years. It's our job to make sure that we put them in something that is going to be worth at least as much as what they paid for it today, tomorrow. Now, ideally it'd be worth a whole lot more. So we don't want to put them into a home that's going to be worth 10% less tomorrow or 20% less tomorrow. That's not going to help them. And not just from treating it as an investment, because most people don't buy a home and put their families in it and think of it as an investment. When they go to sell this house, they need the equity out so they can park that equity into the next home that they're going to put their family in. So it's a little different mindset from, am I going to buy this home and use it as an investment, or am I going to buy this home and park my family and dogs, cats, whatever in here for 5-10 years? Totally different mindset.
What are the strong points? Let's take this Magnolia, Texas area. As you look at it from that eye of the investor, what are the strong points that this area offers to people, do you think?
That the wonderful thing about this area, wonderful thing about Magnolia, the Woodlands, Montgomery, is that this is an improving economy here. You see the horror stories on the news where, you have mass devastation economically all over the country. Michigan, to name one. Here, we've been fortunate that we're very insulated. Yes, Houston is an oil-based economy here, but this is where the bigwigs are. This is the headquarters. So whereas you may have some oil industry throughout the country suffer because of layoffs, here, this is where the offices are. So if these offices start laying off people, then the whole country is really hurting. But Houston is very insulated, and people are looking to get out of a quote-unquote city environment when they figure out what they can buy up here. Like a previous guest said, you can buy acreages, you can buy ranches, you can buy all kinds of things, 100-foot wide lots, things like that. You can't really get that in the inner city without paying an arm and a leg, 7 figures plus. Up here you can get that for a comfortable $300,000-400,000.
Okay, let's take that price. I was going to ask you about a price point. So let's take $350,000.
Mm-hmm.
So for $350,000, tell people that may be listening in the Houston area or people in another state, tell people what you can get right now for about $350,000. Paint a picture.
Okay, so when my mother came to visit me, she's from Florida. She comes to visit and she looks around my house and she says, "Ron, are you, what are you doing? Are you in some illegal, activity?
Your house is that nice,
right?" and I said, "No, it's just what you can get here." So for example, $350,000, you can get 2,500 plus square foot, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, half acre plus. Some subdivisions even an acre. 2 or 3 car detached garage. Very nice subdivision, low tax rate, 2% plus or minus.
That's a nice picture, Ron.
I'm ready to sell you one anytime you're ready.
Well, I'll tell you, you had me at having a nice yard, and also the thing about the garage, quite frankly, I have a 2-car garage, but I would like to have a 3-car garage, not to put more cars, but just to have room. Having that third extra space in a garage, I think, is very important.
It is, unless you have a wife and a mother-in-law and all kinds of other stuff.
They can park their car there, yeah.
Yeah, right. And all kinds of other things that have nothing to do with wheels. But yeah, I mean, the nice thing is here you can actually utilize a fully functional home. In Houston, for example, and not to downgrade that, but if you're buying a home in Houston, your garage is the entry point on your home. Your lot is
You've been in my house.
Imagine that.
That's exactly right.
You saw me?
No.
Yes. I mean, the idea is you pull into your garage and your garage door closes and you go into your home through your garage and you do that because you don't have anywhere else to go. Up here in the country, you can park in your garage and actually walk in your front door.
That's a very pleasant way to enter your home and to come back home, right?
Absolutely.
I like that, but no doubt about it. To me, though, I have to go back to that. Having that third space, I'd keep it clear. We'll find a place for everybody. Don't worry about it. But in the meantime, tell us about also the acreage, some of the things that you enjoy as your own home, as a homeowner yourself, that you enjoy about having a little extra acreage.
I'm a country boy. I grew up in the country. I like the acreage because it gives me a country feel. I don't have to have 10, 15, 20 acres, but you'd be surprised even just what 1 acre does. For example, my mother-in-law, she used to live on a lot that was 7/10 of an acre. And you could literally throw a baseball and hit your neighbor's house. In my property, I live on a cul-de-sac, and it pies out to where my backyard is 300 feet wide. And so I don't see a neighbor left or right of me. We want to have a little fire, we want to have a little party or whatever. I don't feel like the neighbors are just, looking over the fence at me. A little bit of privacy is nice.
Well, I'll bring something forth, too. I've used the term mindset, and I think that here's another thing I just discovered. Maybe I do need to buy a house up here, and that is that having that acreage, I think, is good for your mind. It's a great place to think. I bet from time to time, and the stresses of real estate and all the different transactions and things that go with that, you sometimes probably walk out into the yard and just to think, and having that acreage probably helps.
There's nothing like getting out of real estate by itself is not stressful. If the realtor has a stressful job, they're probably in the wrong job. I mean, I have a great job. Real estate's awesome. But when I come home, you're right. I like to be at home. I like to be at peace. And there's nothing like a nice spread of property to help you do that.
That sounds great. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron McKeithen, M&M, like the candy, Texas Properties. Ron, tell people how they can reach out to you if they want to get some of this piece.
My cell phone number is 281-381-0376, and our website is mmtexasproperties.com.
One more time on the phone number, Ron.
281-381-0376.
And you are listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Bill Napick right here, thinking about having some acreage. In the meantime, thanks for listening, and stay with us. We're coming right back.
If you've been in the real estate industry for any length of time, you know unexpected and costly events can happen. Safeguard yourself against the unexpected with Real Estate Errors and Omissions Insurance, or E&O, through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Not all E&O insurance policies are created equal. How confident are you that your current E&O policy fully protects you? Stewart Insurance and Risk Management offers expertise in the real estate industry and tailors your coverage to correctly manage your risk. With Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, facing the unexpected just became a lot easier. Safeguard your future with real estate E&O insurance through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Call today at 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com to request tailored insurance options for you and your business.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Napick. And now we have Tom Carpentier. He is the president of Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Tom, welcome to the show.
Bill, how are you doing?
Doing great. And also, it is so great to see. I always say that you run the company in a magnificent way, right?
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And also, you've had the vision to put forth this radio show for so long now, and it really has become a resource, as we've intended, to help people in the real estate profession and even beyond all the time.
Well, I think it's a strategy of Stewart's and a strategy of Stewart Insurance and Risk Management as a subsidiary company of Stewart to really be the customer's preference, right? And what does that mean? That means just being a resource for customers at all levels, whether that's the home buyer closing with Stewart or the real estate agent that works with Stewart or a builder or a lender. At the end of the day, they're our customers and we want to be their preference, right? And I think this radio show really gives us an avenue to educate, to provide experience for customers that are just, really good and really just giving them another reason to tune into Stewart, not only, by doing business with us, but tuning into the show, learning more about their industry and what's going on. So it's been a great avenue, and I can't believe it's going on 3 years already. We've been conducting the show, and to you, I just think you do a great job and appreciate the way you're putting Stewart out there and being a tremendous ambassador for not only Stewart but for the organization I run, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. So thank you for that.
And it's my pleasure. Also, as people think about Stewart Title, they know we're in the title profession, in the business for now almost 123 years, actually. But also, your company has been in business about 11 years or so, Tom?
That's right.
The company has grown. It's unbelievable. But let's review the insurance, because people still think about Stewart Title as a title company, but they can get home, auto, broker, E&O insurance, and even more. Tell them about some of the basics.
Well, no question. Again, we're owned by Stewart Title Company, which is a real estate services company. And so Stewart's vision, as you well know it, is to be the most admired resource in real estate. Well, we just kind of play off of that. We want to bring value to our company, our shareholders, and most importantly to our customers. And one of the ways we can do that is by providing insurance and risk management services, because throughout the real estate process, insurance is needed in some capacity. Risk management services are needed in some capacity. So if we can deliver that extra added value aside from our core business, which is conducting real estate closings and writing title policies as part of closings, if we can bring additional value, that's what we're certainly striving to do. So we formed this agency, which is our group is essentially an insurance agency. We formed it 10 years ago. We're what you would refer to as an independent insurance agency, which means that Stewart doesn't underwrite any of the policies or insurance products that we market or sell to consumers. We act as a broker, so we contract with multiple underwriters, enabling us to, whether it's a home buyer, whether it's a commercial insurance account, meaning we want to write insurance for a builder or a real estate brokerage firm, we have the ability to go out to various markets, various underwriters to get the right carrier for or the right underwriter for that particular business or consumer, and ultimately we're doing that and focusing solely within the real estate marketplace to bring that value that I talked about.
And no doubt that serves your clients in all kinds of ways by offering them those choices. And of course that also enables you to tailor their needs to the correct policies and coverages.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so that in our way, in our little simple way, that's our way of contributing and making Stewart, helping Stewart accomplish their vision and really become that preference for consumers.
And of course, as Stewart is based in Houston, Texas, we broadcast the show from Houston, and a lot of our guests, most of the guests are from Houston. However, we do have people chime in all over the United States talking about real estate or their profession. But we want to tell people from Stewart Insurance and Risk Management's point of view, you serve people and write policies all over the United States, right?
We do. We do it. We operate out of Houston, but we have the capabilities of working with individuals or businesses across the country. We're very proud of that footprint, and that just enables us to be able to support Stewart not only in the local Houston market where Stewart is based and their headquarters is based, but it enables us to work with their clientele and add that value across the country. So we can spread our wings from that side of it.
And Tom, when I say that you serve the company and lead the company in a magnificent way, I say that because it has a great ring to it and because you do, but also your philosophy as far as training goes and bringing people to that next level and helping each and every employee and part of your team rise to as far as they can go. Training is so important, and also you look in depth at the person's capabilities and making sure they're in the right role at the company. Give us an idea about your philosophy there.
No question. As a leader of an organization, I learned a long time ago that a large percentage of your time needs to be working with people and cultivating a solid, what I refer to as a people process. You need to spend your time training, coaching, evaluating, holding people accountable through different measures so you can have a really strong group of people that can help, execute on your strategy and your operating plans and other things like that. So at the end of the day, from the heart, I believe, and certainly want people to have fulfilling careers because they're spending a ton of time with us, and we want to be that second family. So, it starts with the people that you have in your organization. If you are not putting things in place or creating career paths or coaching them to become future leaders of the organization, you're not going to have a long-standing company, really long-term. So you want to set that table with the right people in the right positions doing the right kind of job for the customers. And so it starts with them. The other stuff, the building strategy and incorporating operating plans to execute on your strategy, that's stuff that's a functional task that obviously is part of a leader's job. But at the end of the day, it's cultivating those people. And I think you've heard some of our folks on the radio show. I mean, they're engaged in their job. They understand the details of what we're trying to do. We don't take anything for granted. That's why I think we're really able to deliver value to consumers, and they're wowed when they work with us because they're educated on things they didn't know about insurance, and so that's the big thing for me.
And also from a personal standpoint, how do you keep yourself where you keep raising the bar for yourself? What to give people an idea of some of your own core principles of success?
It starts with time management, right? It starts with waking up every day and having a plan to attack the day. We got so many minutes in a day, and we want to execute and take advantage of those. So it starts with just having a sound plan in place on how you're going to attack the day and having a true purpose to that. Having the ability and the courage once in a while to say no, right? Not every idea is the right idea at the right time, and so you have to stay true to the tracks that you've laid at this point to drive your organization, and then just being a fair, honest person, obviously, and just being there for people, and again focusing on people more than anything, within the organization.
No doubt about it. Stewart.com. They can see the full offering of insurance, the personal, the commercial. And once again, Tom, if someone wants to reach out, talk to one of your professionals at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, give them the phone number, please.
Give us a call anywhere in the country at 866 866-845-4676. We'd love to hear from you.
One more time on the number.
866-845-4676.
And thank you so much, Mr. Tom Carpentier, President of Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Bill.
And welcome back. Now we have the Realtors back. In fact, here she is. I know you want to hear from her again. She is Sharon Gilmore with Keller Williams. Sharon, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Bill, glad to be back.
Very nice to have you. But boy, tell people again about some of the great things and what else you want them to know about Magnolia.
Bill, Magnolia is a really great place to live. Now is a great time to either move into the area or to sell your home and buy in a newer area in Magnolia. And I'm here to serve and to help you in any way that I can.
It really is a good time. And one of the things that we didn't talk about, and that is the interest rates are still pretty darn good. And it's unbelievable. It is a great time to buy.
Yeah, interest rates are still really low, almost to the point where they're giving homes away, you could say, based on, the market about,
that's right, yeah,
several years ago. So you don't want to miss out on that opportunity because they can't, continue to keep interest rates this low for too much longer. So I would encourage you to get out there and get your ducks in a row, get ready to buy. Timing is perfect. The area is a great one and a good time to move in.
It really is. And also, let's talk about, put interest rates aside. How often do you run into people? I bet a lot of people just want to pay cash when they buy the home. Do you run into that very much?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I just got through doing a farm and ranch about 3 or 4 months ago, and they were paying cash because the opportunity, the price point was really good, and they could see that the investment was going to continue to grow over the next few years.
And as you mentioned, farm and ranch, let's just recap again as people think about in the Magnolia, this area, the north of Houston. There are so many selections that they can just have a regular home. They could have the farm and ranch. There are so many possibilities up here, right, Sharon?
That's true, Bill. Anything from the farm and ranch to a master plan community to buying on homes that are on a half acre that might be unrestricted. You really have a lot of choices. So it really depends on the lifestyle that you're looking for, and this community has a lot to offer.
That sounds great, Sharon. Tell people how they can reach you.
You can contact me at 832-692-3981, or you can visit my web at Gilmore Realty Group.
That sounds super cool. And now, Keller Williams, boy, that's a great place. But in addition, we have John Kraft back from Keller Williams, too. John, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
There you are. What else should we know, John?
I'll tell you what, the additional stuff we need to know is people also always think of Magnolia as maybe being a little bit older country place. Like I was kind of saying earlier, it's not necessarily. We have a lot of new construction, which I know that is very, very exciting for especially the younger people. They love new homes. Whereas, a lot of the other people that go, well, we're looking for something that someone else has fixed up. People really want to personalize and make it their own now. So they're really looking for those new construction homes that with the blank slate, they can make it theirs. We've got a lot of new construction with all of the growth that we've had lately.
It's kind of like you're reading my mind. I'll tell you what, I don't know when I'm going to sell my home, but when I do, that will be one of the first things I look for is to have a new home. A brand new home, because it's just like that car. When you have that new car smell, that new home smell, and have everything brand new, there's something super awesome about that.
There is. Let me tell you the other super awesome thing about it is the energy efficiency. Sometimes people don't think the total cost of a property. I'm selling homes in the Spring area that were built maybe in the early 70s where they have light bills of $300 and $400. They're buying new construction out here with all of the new improvements and energy efficiencies that have been done, and their light bills are $100, $150, and they're calling me going, I think something's wrong. My light bill is only $150.
Did I get the wrong bill?
Yeah.
Well, that is correct. Having and builders and people that are in the air conditioning business and so forth, they are always looking for ways to make it more efficient. So those that buy the new home are the beneficiaries of that new technology.
Absolutely. And the codes continue to get better. So therefore, they're going to have to be better, not just because maybe they want to be, but they have to be. And that's so great for the consumer.
Excellent. John Kraft, tell people how they can reach you.
Absolutely. 832-585-3426. Or you can visit me on the web at johncraftrealty.com. stewart.com.
And I bet if they want to buy a chicken, you know where to send them, right?
Absolutely. Bring your chickens, bring your goats, bring your horses. We're here to help you.
Super cool. Ladies and gentlemen, John Kraft. He is back now from M&M Texas Property, Ron McKeithen. Ron, welcome back.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Well, we're still doing well. And as we wind up the show, tell people what else we should know about what's going on up here and your involvement.
You know, this area has changed so much. When I first moved here in 95, 97, you could drive from I-45 down 1488, which was just a 2-lane road, and there was only one store at 242. And then you had to wait all the way to 2978, and you got to Webb's, and that was it. Now, 1488 is a 5-lane divided highway, and with shopping centers up one side and down the other, Target Center. This area right here that we're in is called New Magnolia. And thank God for it. It is an amazing place. New homes, new schools, Lone Star Community College just right around the corner, a new Lone Star Magnolia planned for the city of Magnolia in just a few years. The whole area is exploding. New builder developers coming out here, 1,200 home sites coming in just up 1488. It's a tremendous thing, and what they did in the Woodlands, we're seeing repeated now in a new subdivision called Wood Forest, just up Fish Creek Thoroughfare, and 10 more years from now, you won't recognize the place again.
It's always interesting because it would be nice to see 5 years from now what the snapshot will look like here. But one of the things I'm thinking about is as we are Conroe and on the way to Dallas, it's like everything's kind of connecting.
You know, the nice thing about here is that you are in the center of wherever everything is. You know, if you want to go to the Woodlands, you're here. If you want to go to Bryan College Station, it's just an hour away. If you want to go to Houston, get on 45, and you're there in 45. I mean, everything is right here. It's real close. If you want to go to Huntsville's 35, 40 minutes away. Maybe 20 minutes the way I drive.
Well, now, M&M Texas Properties. I bet, Ron, when people think about your company, they remember it by the candy. Does that ever happen?
You know, it's a funny thing you say. When we were trying to come up with the name, and M&M is McKeithen and Martin's, one of my co-brokers, Tim Martin's a good friend of mine. We were coming up with the name. Someone says, well, wait a minute. People are going to think M&M candies. And then she stopped for a minute, and she said, well, maybe that's not a bad thing. They can't forget us
about
now.
that?
Right.
Well, tell people how they can reach you, Ron.
My number is 281-381-0376, and you can visit us on our website at mmtexasproperties.com.
Super cool. Thank you so much, Ron. In the meantime, you have been listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick. And, we invite you to hear all the shows. We were over 140 shows, but you can hear show number 1, number 10, whichever one you want. Go to Stewart.com for the complete show archives. That is Stewart.com. We've had great individuals on all the shows. It's fascinating, all the things we get to talk about. We're not limited to Houston, Texas, or Magnolia, Texas. No, we talk to people in Beverly Hills, New York City, Chicago, all over the place to get the pulse on real estate, to get the pulse on what's going on in homes in general. We've even had dog trainers on the show. That's right. It's kind of like a variety show with a strong real estate theme. We never had anybody talk about chickens except for this show, but that's what we love about it. You never know what's going to happen, but we thank those here at Stewart Title, Magnolia, the great Hope Moy. She is the business development officer right here at Stewart Title in Magnolia, Texas. She'll be happy to be a steward of your real estate transactions. They have the A-team here of escrow officers. That's right. So you've been listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We'll see you next week. And again, go to Stewart.com/Houston. Your host, Bill Nampick, Stewart.com/Houston. I'll say it again in a deeper voice, Stewart.com/Houston. See you next week.